Life is a waterfall, we're one in the river and one again during the fall. Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we free ourselves and we find it all. Cause we are the ones that wanna play, always love to go and we always get to stay. And we are the ones that need not choose, always wanna play but you never have to lose. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall, we drink from the river, then we turn around and create our thoughts. Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we free ourselves and we find it all. Cause we are the ones that love to play, always love to go and we always get to stay. And we are the ones that need not choose, always get to play but you never have to lose. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels so up high, when you free your mind's eternal prize. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels so up high, when you free your mind's eternal prize. Ah, ah, ah,
Begin now, allowing your eyelids to fall and delicately rest. Start to feel your natural warm breath. Breathing in and out silently. You breathing silently, so softly, as if only your inner being knows of it. Allowing your back to sink into it restfully. Your belly rising and falling on its own. This sacred breathing clearing the pathways in your nose, clearing and cooling your temples, clearing your mind. This breath, being God's breath, clears your mind's perception. Allow warm light of divine goodness and innocence shine like the afternoon sun on a glass window. Disinfecting the mind's glass window of any dust of contempt, jealousy, or mental wrongdoings. Let Spirit's rays of light goodness correctly pass through the glass window of your mind. Correct perception of God's reality for you is your blessing. Every upsetting situation or person you may encounter holds this secret blessing of relief. You can safely admit to yourself this secret joy and adventure of uncovering this God's invaluable treasure for you. Bless yourself now to always have a clean, open, receptive mental lens to understand the nature of divine workings. As you come to ease and peace here, breathing open here again. Now come into your heart. Feel how now, naturally carefree and happy, your heart is in expressing herself or himself. When your mind is pure, it is your heart that is safe in its free expression. Your heart rules fearlessly with your mind at its peace and has settled down with its oneness with the one mind. Breathing in your heart's delight and realizing always your beloved's original intention is always of your very own caring good. Letting your whole being sink into this newfound comfort, grounding into this expanded light, love, and peace. You may now gently open your eyes.
Hello everyone, this is Dani Caicedo. I am in Harmonious Union with my twin flame Ian, and I am a student of Jeff and Shaleia. And I'm very happy to be doing today's oracle card reading, and I'm gonna be pulling cards for my angels deck. And yeah, just wanna go ahead with that. And so I pulled 3 cards, and I'm gonna share those with you guys. So the first one that I pull is clean your energy, and it says harmonize your energy and with like the spaces that you're always around, and like cleanse your chakras, cleanse your energy, and this is the card. So yeah, like I feel that this card is really inviting you to make sure that your energy is balanced, that that you are always like focusing on your relationship with God, that you cannot, like, it's like a reminder that you cannot act from a place where you are not giving to yourself, or like from a place where you're like not in peace with yourself. So I feel like this card is really saying yeah, like make sure that you are balanced, make sure that you are giving yourself the space to be with God and to put yourself and your union first, so you can go ahead and thrive in what you're doing. So yeah, make sure that you are balanced. This is very crucial and important for everything that you do in life, for in order like for you to also like build your foundation. So yeah, like there are many ways to do this, through like the mirror exercise and meditations and candles, whatever, like any ritual that really works for you. But like mostly I will say to make sure that you are loving yourself and that you are doing what feels good, so you can be balanced and then just thrive perfectly. So yeah, and then the other card is the law of attraction, and it's yeah, it says think about what you want and not what you're afraid about. So this is a very good card. Yeah, like it's really telling us that like sometimes we are kind of like we're thinking too much about things. We're like sometimes we're like even like overthinking inner work, or like something that's happening in the reality. And so I feel like this card is telling you like be very simple with this, by like make the choice to just give attention to what you want, to what you desire, and then from that place you can keep going, even when you're doing inner work, right? Like even when you are healing, like if you are not putting attention to what really needs to, like, to the part of you that needs love, and you're just like kind of like going in circles around, then you're not really healing, even if it looks like you're healing. So I feel like this card is saying like that's why it's an invitation to put attention to what you want, because then when you when you set the attention to go after what you want, then the healing also is going to be directed to that. So instead of you going around circles with the healing, you're actually going to go direct to where you need love, and then you're just going to love yourself there, and you're going to keep thriving and going to what you want. Like you're allowing the universe, God, to give you what you want, because you're actually doing what is required from you. So don't remember that like the law of attraction, right? Like it's you get what you give. So I feel like this is also related to the today's sermons, because it's about like giving and receiving, and it's like yeah, like it's the more you give genuinely from your heart, the more you receive, because everything is energy, and that's what the law of attraction is about. Energy, like giving and receiving. So yeah, make sure that you are always like the other card was saying, like balancing everything. So you are giving, you're sharing, you're healing, your gift, everything that feels good to you, you're just sharing that, and then from that place you're living. Yeah, and so the last card is it's my favorite card from these angel oracle cards, and it's peace, science, and then it says everything is gonna be at the right moment. It's gonna get to you at the right moment, and it's this one here. Um, yeah, this is very beautiful, and to me, this is like really showing the love of twin flames, and like and overall, like the peace for the world, and that like there is no separation from like love and logic, because that's what this is all about too. That like how everything is complemented, and like there is only love is real. And so I feel like the more you allow yourself to share your gift, the more you connect with this one energy, and then you can just flow in it like a flowing river, and then live your life from there. And so in order for you to do that, you have to you have to kind of like remember what I said, what I was saying in the last two cards, like put your attention on what you want, and make the choice to just focus there, and to thrive. So yeah, this is the end result: love, peace, everything merged together, science, love, God, everything is one, only God is real, only love is real. So with that being said, I would like to introduce you guys to our sermon's topic of today, and it's the purpose of sharing by Adam and Breann. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Sit back, relax, take it in, open your heart to receive the love available for here, and yeah, see you later.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Breann.
Welcome to today's Sunday sermon. Today we'll be talking about the purpose of sharing.
Yes, very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But before we begin, we would like to do our 3 opening ums. We invite you to say the ums out loud or in your heart. Beautiful. All right. Now we will read to you our opening prayer.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I will always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, amen. All right. We ready to go?
Yes.
All right. So now for today's sermon, which is about the value of sharing, the purpose of sharing. And this is a very beautiful subject for Adam and I to share, because this is something that we're continuously healing through in our union together. So the foundation of unionism is based off of Jeff and Shalea's teachings. And it's an embodiment of Jeff and Shalea's teachings and extending that to the world. And the way that we do that is through
sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so sharing is sharing your light with the world, sharing your insights, whatever your gift is, it's giving that gift to the world, and knowing that your gift is highly valuable, and it's highly it's a puzzle piece in the kingdom of heaven. right? We all have a gift to share. And we're going to continue to go deeper here into this subject. And something I would like to share with you guys first is one of the pieces in the closing prayer, which you will hear at the end of the sermon. But I want to share that with you guys because it speaks directly to what what the sermon is about today. So it says, I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and I will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. And that speaks perfectly to, sharing your gift with the world, right? And doing that as God calls you to, and the way that God calls you to do that.
Yeah, it's like if you're not sharing, you're kind of silencing God. God like wants to come through you, speak through you. And when you're not sharing, it's like, no, God.
Yeah.
No, let's just wait. It's not that important. But
you're telling God no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's important just to share what's on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is something that we've been healing personally because there was a lot of suppression. We both have suppressed ourselves for pretty much the majority of our lives. We just didn't, whether that be speaking or writing, whatever way, we didn't honor or value ourselves. And so in that, we suppressed our shares. And sharing is very intricately intertwined with growing and changing, right? And so when you share yourself, there can be a lot of feelings come up. You're being seen, right? You're being seen and you're being heard. You're being acknowledged. And there can be some fear in that because especially if you're not seeing the value of your share, there's going to be a lot of feelings that come up, which is what we've been moving through. And each time it gets easier, right?
Yeah.
It gets, it just gets easier.
Yeah, it's like practice makes perfect, but you just have to keep going, right? To get a momentum there. In a sense, this is what we're doing on our healing journey, right? Mm-hmm. Like we can't just do the mirror exercise one time, like, okay, I'm done, like you have to keep going, doing the thing to get to where you need to be. And with sharing, it's just a continuous thing. You're going to have to keep doing it throughout your journey. Like, it's not going to stop.
Right. Yeah, because as you share, you grow. Right. And something that our good friend, Chrissy Emmerich, says, she drives this home with us all the time, is that when you are healing something, you want to extend that awareness and that insight with your brothers and sisters. Because when you extend your healing and your awareness and your insights, you're really driving that home. To give the gift is to receive the gift fully, right? And this is something that we were doing, is that we would heal, right? We would heal these things that would come up, but we weren't sharing the gift, so we weren't fully receiving the gift, right?
Yeah, it's like what Chrissy shares with that. It's like you're not completing the healing when you're not sharing. So the importance of that it's going to keep going unless you kind of complete the healing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that leads me to a beautiful quote that I would like to read you from one of Jeff and Shaleia's classes. Okay. It's LPC number 6. Screw it, just do it. All right. And so the quote is, or what Jeff and Shaleia shared is, the purpose of life is not being selfish. Being selfish is useless. Babaji, a great ascended master, a yogi in the Himalayas, does this. Babaji went out to the people to share his gift and brought Kriya Yoga to America with the help of Yogananda. Nature is here for your pleasure. The whole world is there for your satisfaction. But none of it matters without giving your gift to your brothers and sisters. Find the drive to share your gift with others. If you learn something beautiful, the only drive you have is to share that gift with others. Steve Jobs is a great example of this. When he created the iPod, he didn't keep it for himself. He shared it with everyone. There are so many levels and layers to give. There is no limit on what you can do with your life. I just love that. Like you can really go deeper with that. That's a beautiful, what Jeff and Shaleia shared is that, yeah, like, this is very common with monks, right? Like they desire to ascend, but what they do is they go off and meditate, and they don't share themselves with the world, right? They just like close themselves up from the world. And so they're not really fully receiving the gift because they're just shutting themselves out. And if they would share themselves with the world, help me out here.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you're meditating, right?
Yeah.
And when you're healing, you're receiving insights, and if you're just keeping them to yourself,
There you go,
you're not gonna extending the healing, like Christy says as well. You're not completing the healing there, and it's kind of this like continuous cycle. And I mean, you can sit in meditation for a long time, but
exactly.
Yeah, but like it's gonna take a bit of time.
Yeah, it takes much longer.
Yeah.
And that's the key piece right there, is that we ascend together. We don't ascend separately from one another, right? Because there's no separation. And that's what unionism is. Union is oneness with God. Union is oneness with your brothers and sisters. It's a one shared consciousness, the one child of God. So you can't go sit off in a in a corner by yourself. You want to share yourself with the world, all of your gifts and your insights. And then in that, we excel, right? We rapidly speed up our ascension journey together, and we ascend together. We can't ascend alone. And it really drives that home. And that's why it's so important to share your insights, or whatever your gift is. Like, let's say if you're a writer, or you're a musician, or you like to create art, whatever that may be, just find a way to share your gift, right? Find a way that feels good to you, and just share that gift with the world in whatever way that you're called to.
Yeah, like God created you with that gift so that He could create through you as well, right? And in that sense, and yeah, I think like you mentioned this in the beginning, like the value, not seeing the value of our own shares, like, well, people don't need to know that, or and even like noticing something in another and not saying something. You're like, well, it's not my business, or but that's a loving way to point something out, right? Hey, like, I'm noticing this here, like something feels off. But when you're not sharing that, there's a missing piece. And your brother would be grateful to get that piece, the awareness. Wow, I didn't think about that, or I wasn't aware. And
that's so true. It just it reminds me as well, like when I'm supporting another, supporting a friend or another member of the community, oftentimes when I'm supporting them and we're holding space as they're doing their inner healing work, God just flows through me. And I'm always, without, every single time I'm moving through the same thing that they're moving through, but in my own way. And God through me provides the peace. And I'll be like, wow, that was so good. Like, that's the peace I needed. And so allowing God to move through me and extending that share, to my brother or sister, I automatically receive the healing myself. I shared the healing and the gift with them, and I received it too. And that's just, it feels so good to share it in that way. And then they go on to share it, right? They share it with their brothers and sisters, with another. And it just kind of compiles, on top of one another.
Yeah, and it's very inspiring when someone else shares with you, and it's like a pay it forward kind of thing. We're like spreading love throughout the planet and the universe, right? And it's really beautiful. I feel like talking about math a little bit here.
I was
like,
feeling the same thing, twin flames.
Yeah.
I was headed that direction too.
No, we recently went through math for the second time.
What is math?
Mind alignment process.
Yeah.
It helps heal trauma. Yeah, and a lot of what we were healing through it has to do with expression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's been very powerful.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had, in regards to expression, since we've had our map session, we both went through in about a week difference from
2
each other,
weeks,
2
yeah.
weeks difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, and since then we've had so many awarenesses and insights coming up, such as like, let's say if I go to share something, I automatically hear that voice that I've played into for so long, and that voice would always say, don't bother with that. You don't need to share that. They ain't gonna listen. They don't want to hear that. It's not valuable. And this is the voice that I played into for so long, and I wasn't even aware that it was there because it was just kind of a norm in a sense, right? But that's what Matt did, is in uprooting the core of that that trauma, or that misalignment. It really brought awareness to that place, and so I started catching that voice. And when I catch that voice, I say no to it, right? It's from the ego. I say no to that because I'm saying yes to unionism. I'm saying yes to oneness. I'm saying yes to God. And so it's so powerful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like you have a piece there too.
Yeah, what do I want to share here?
Yeah.
No, I really, the awarenesses we've gotten, it's like not even like knowing that the patterns we had were there, but also like some was like, wow, to this extent, like you kind of like, well, I feel like there's something off here, but like it's kind of like pulled away all the veil of illusion in a sense, like, oh, this is me, kind of like naked and vulnerable right here in a sense, right? Like seeing all the patterns and things so clearly, and it's truly amazing because we wanna be free, right? From trauma, we want to be liberated from this, and this is what Matt does.
Yeah, and what you said too about being naked and vulnerable is knowing that all of you being seen and being naked and vulnerable, knowing that there's only beauty there, right? Because that's oftentimes why we don't share, is because we feel that there's something bad, right? That something bad is going to be seen. But that's the lie that the ego tells you to prevent you from sharing, because the ego's main purpose is to keep you trapped, right? And it wants you to suppress yourself. It wants you to not share. But even that in itself is crazy, because that's not a purpose, right? The ego's an illusion, and it's just pure insanity. And so when you share, you liberate yourself. You liberate your brother and sister. You shine your light, and you encourage your brothers and sisters to shine and share their light too with the world. And that is so powerful. That is so liberating, because in truth, only love is real. Jeff and Shaleia, only love is real, right? And we only have love to share with one another when we just share ourselves. And being yourself, that's another thing too, is just being yourself and not letting go of shame. There's no reason to be shameful or embarrassed of who you are. You were created in divine love, and you are absolute perfection, and really allowing yourself to surrender into the truth of that. That is the truth. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah, I was wondering, like, you came up here, like it's safe to share, like you said, like being yourself and all this. And I feel like a lot with our expression, from traumas and all this, like we had sort of a defensiveness.
Yes.
And I'm reminded of this like quote from A Course in Miracles: "In my defenselessness, my safety lies."
Yeah.
So it's like, just be open to share yourself, and that is safe. There was something else I wanted to share, but maybe you have the piece.
That was beautiful. Yeah, just knowing that you are safe. Yeah, I look back, I was a live student in Twin Flame Ascension School with Jeff and Shaleia, and I recently was watching one of the older Sunday classes, and I could see how defensive I was. Jeff and Shaleia were supporting me through healing a block. I don't really remember what the block was. It was control, right? Control with my expression. And as I was sharing, my feelings, I was very defensive, and I didn't get it at the time, but that defensiveness was coming from a place of, okay, I'm going to share myself, but if there's going to be attack brought upon me, and attack isn't real, right? We can only attack ourselves. But there was this energy of, if that was to happen, I'm going to have this defensiveness here, right? And so as I let that go, I was able to share. There's a flow, right? And I just aligned to that flow. And just as Adam said, A Course in Miracles, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I remember watching that class, not knowing we were twin flames, and I remember it felt so bad, like my heart, like it was just like breaking in a sense, because like I recognized that, it was hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've definitely come a long way since then.
Oh yeah, so much so.
Yeah.
So much so.
Yeah. So anything else about sharing?
Yeah, there was one more thing that I wanted to share too. Another beautiful quote from, this one is from Wednesday, 1 p.m. class number 3. And it says, Jeff and Shaleia, I'm sorry, Wednesday 1 p.m. Yes, this is Wednesday 1 p.m. class 3. All right. Choose to change. Stop holding on to things, thoughts and choices that you feel are keeping you safe. Go to the places you are afraid to share and make a new choice. Because in truth, when you share them, you know that you will change. Ultimately, you are afraid to change. You can't move forward if you refuse to change.
Wow. So, in change, there is transformation, basically.
Yeah. And you want to change. I want to change. We want to change. We want to grow, because in change, we bring about more heaven to earth, right? Mm-hmm. And stagnancy doesn't feel good. And when we're not sharing, we're dying in a sense, right? We're choosing stagnancy. Mm-hmm. We're choosing to not move forward. And that doesn't feel good. And there was once a time in my life where I didn't like change. I despised change. I wanted everything to stay the same, right? But I didn't realize now that I do allow myself to shift and flow and move with change. It feels so good, right? Because God is always shifting. God is always changing. God is very fluid. The energy is always going, moving in all different directions. And that feels so good when you just surrender to change. You allow yourself to expand. You allow yourself to grow. And that's what we are as God's children. So we're one with God. God is eternal. God is expansive. And so are we.
Yeah. So in a sense, it's controlling God when you're not in the flow.
Exactly. Yeah. Good.
How do you feel?
I feel complete.
Yeah.
I feel like we really drove home the importance of sharing. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing with you guys right now, right here, is we're sharing ourselves. And it feels really good to do so. And this is a very high honor to serve and to love and to share our message in this way, and how unionism and, based off the foundation of Jeff and Shaleia's teachings, has really changed and shifted our life. And we're just very honored and very grateful for this opportunity. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So with that, I feel that it's time for our closing ohms.
Closing prayer first?
Closing prayer. Yes. Let's do the closing prayer. All right.
Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life, and I will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere, and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me with clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
So let's conclude with our 3 closing ohms.
Yes, you can say it out loud or in your heart. Beautiful.
Yes.
All right.
So thank you for watching today's service.
Yeah, we'll see you for next Sunday's service. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us. That was a beautiful sermon. Yeah, like it really touched my heart in every way. It was very aligned to what I was feeling in the card reading too. You know, like to go to all of these places where you are afraid to share your gift and to love yourself. Yeah, so you can honor God and honor your purpose of being with God and sharing God. So yeah, thank you so much, Adam and Breann, for that beautiful and divine um, sermon. That was very healing. So yeah, with that being said, I would like to invite you guys to join us to our after church tea time, and it's gonna be in the discussion group in our Facebook group, Unionist Facebook group. So yeah, I'll see you there and see you guys next time.